reality show. I don't think anybody's telling us the truth about their lactose intolerance right now. I have no idea what's happening.
Ice cream eating competition. 2 minutes to eat as much of the ice cream cups in front of them as possible. They do not have spoons. They can only use their hands. Yeah. No spoons, only your hands. You can use all your hands for this table. That's it. Eat.
Let's go, blue team! Let's go, blue!
One of the most dominant performances I have ever seen. Wow. And we got 100 points to blue.
B-L-U-E! B-L-U-E!
Good morning, Sunrise, and welcome to day number 4 of Sunrise Wars, Episode 2, Sunrise Strikes Back, Color War 2021. That's a mouthful, that title. Should shorten it. Hey, who had a great day of Color War yesterday?
Simon says to this. Simon says to this. Simon says to this. To this. No. Very good. Cheer it up.
I've definitely noticed amongst the blue team that among the captains there seems to be a bit of infighting.
Well, heard there were some issues last night with trying to get the the Death Star, the Sunrise Star finished. And I was told that we're just going to do a little demo to see how it's going to look, but it looks like they kind of solidified everything. We were supposed to do small sections so everything would be like flush and smoothed out, so they kind of just wrapped it up. It kind of feels like we're all on separate pages right now in regards to the project.
Not being certain of as to what should be done and who should do what.
What are those pages?
Those pages, I'll let you know when I collect them all.
Oh my gosh.
Because blue team, for some reason, seemingly is just so less motivated to partake in the art, that a lot of the art projects will be made purely by the captains and not by the campers. And so the problem is that it's going to look a lot better than the red teams because, you know, the red teams, for example, like the lightsaber, which is made by the Acorns and Troopers, is being made by 5- and 6-year-olds. Whereas the blue team's lightsaber is going to be made by, you know, an 18-year-old and a 24-year-old. It's going to be unfair, but I'm sure they're judged that understand it. In fact, I think that the one that actually involved the Acorns and Troopers is probably going to win because it involved campers and they're going to be understanding.
So our morning meeting probably could have gone a little bit better. Some campers told me that I'm also tone deaf and I need to work on my beat when I try to teach them the song. So yeah.
All right.
And I will win tonight. We have to yell that, okay?
Seems like there's a lot of disorganization going on. A lot of conversations with Dan, a little confusion. Today at Shade, when we were having our meeting, they, without telling anyone, changed the song, which was fun to figure out.
I guess it started with me because I shared my cheer, and some campers really liked that one compared to the other ones.
So a lot of our campers were sort of annoyed by that, but I'm very much the kind of person that generally has no idea what's going on ever. So I'm having a good time.
Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, but what if it was dun, 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 dun. All right, that's gonna be the beat for this cheer.
This is what Dan tells me, that apparently these kids are going to try to perform that one at Roundup.
Oh.
I think they took out a few lines, which doesn't really make sense because it's to the tune of a song.
All right, now repeat after me. Now this is a story all about how.
So like, that's just going to be weird when we're playing the song as we sing along to it.
The Sith took Dorona to turn Amiibo now.
Well, I would have started by trying to build more of a blue team spirit community type of vibe going on, because I think it's factioning off because some people don't like the way the direction blue team is going, so I think that's why we're seeing the factioning off. Well, because I'm getting like, there's people that want to be more spirited, but they don't feel like the other captains are as spirited, or because some of their captains are, you know, they're unit counselors, so they want to see them as spirited. They don't want to see me spirited. They want to see their counselors spirited, who are captains. So I think maybe that's where a lot of the dissent is coming from.
Blue has a path to victory. I don't see it with the Millennium Falcon and the Death Star in the equation. I'm not saying that they should punt on those two things for the rest of the week, but I don't see it going in their favor. With that said, they have a secret weapon. Dance Jeremy has coached, I think, 4 or 5 first place dance performances in Color War, and Blue has Dance Jeremy in their corner, so that's big. The song is always up for grabs. It's very hard to judge how the song is going to be won on the day of. I honestly have not seen the plaques very much, and the photo booths are really the wild card here. Like, the photo booths are an easy place to aggregate a lot of camper work onto one thing. So, yes, I'm sitting here being very pessimistic about Blue's Millennium Falcon and their Death Star, but that's just 2 of 8 things being judged. They just got to win the majority. They just got to win 4 of 6 of the other ones, and that's going to be probably their path to victory. Blue Jedi won the creative cheer, which was very controversial because this whole situation with Blue began because there was some disagreement over the creative cheer, and then they pulled it out, which completely vindicated all of the captains not involved in the situation. I won't go any further there.
It's fabric, so it's going to be a black sequence base, and then we would have cut out other shapes like armor plating so that there'd be a sequence, you know, like when Luke's trying to destroy the Death Star and he's flying through all of those
The trenches.
the alleys and the trenches. Yeah, so we wanted the black sequence to be the trenches, and then we would have like some 3D, like the cardboard or other colored fabric that we would layer over it so it'd be 3D. But it looks like the other captains chose this.
Is this what went down after camp yesterday?
Yes, and I couldn't stay because I get home at 1 a.m. if I stay late. So now we're trying to do what you know, but this is what we got, and we still got to present. We're still very proud of it. We're still very happy to be working on it, very excited for it. So, you know, we'll keep on trucking on. Go Blue Team.
We're coming to you now. It's Friday morning, final morning of Judgment Day of Color War. It's never been this close. Scoring is too close right now. There's always been accusations of scores being rigged. We're trying to keep it close to keep things interesting. None of that's true. there have been years seen out of this world, notably, was a wire-to-wire victory for Blue Rockets. They dominated the whole time. I don't think any team ever came within like 300 or 400 points of them. So that's just not true. So it is very close today. The competitions have all evened out. Now, what has gone on in the last 48 hours is truly remarkable. So when I was last in the confessional on Wednesday, Blue captains had basically started to crumble. Organizationally, everything was falling apart. No communication, disagreement amongst the captains, projects not well organized, and Red was just cruising along. And to be quite honest, I told the Red team if they just ran out the clock and just made it through the end of Friday unscathed, the week was theirs. At the end of the day, this all comes down to the perception of the judges and not really what actually happens in the projects. It's about how cohesive the captain teams are. And then all of a sudden, last night, the beauty of Color Wars, everything flipped on its head. Blue back together, a powwow with Ziana, tears and hugs and kumbaya, everyone holding hands and singing and rallying around their giant ball of death, which I predict will come in second today. And then on the flip side, the Red team starting to completely fall apart. It's unbelievable. And that's why Color War is the best week of camp, because things can change just like that.
Am I in this frame?
Yes.
Shattered. Red team was shattered, fragmented, all over the ground yesterday. I had to leave. I couldn't stay. All of it was through hearsay. I just fixed the blue team. They actually fixed themselves. I just mediated the situation.
Every positive thing that someone could say, she said.
She brought us together.
Yeah.
And then Omar brought us to tears. It was incredible.
Wow.
The quivering lips, the crying, the miscommunication, the misperceptions on who was feeling what and how and why people were sad. I mean, Omar was thinking that everybody was mad at him, and what it turned out was that Omar was just so sad because he respects the captains so much that he was sad that his kids weren't respecting the other captains, and the captains were upset because they didn't think that Omar and the kids were respecting them. It the whole thing. There were so many hugs. I just loved being a part of it.
It was a beautiful moment and really a reparation, like a phoenix rising from the ashes, right on the eve of the final day where everything can change. And on the flip side, the Red team, they just completely fell apart out of nowhere. It's like a Lamborghini speeding down the highway and the wheels just fall off and the car careens out of control. And now we're here Friday morning. Things have calmed down a little bit. Coming back to camp makes everyone feel better. But the question is, who can pull it together faster in the next 2 hours?
Maybe I should have stayed. I think I could have fixed the Red team.
There was no fixing them.
I could have fixed
the Red
them.
team. The
I'm a
Red
good
team
fixer.
broke last night. Now the question is, can they glue the pieces back together? Can they staple gun the pieces of their team back together the way that the giant ball of death on the blue team has been stapled gunned close to 1,000 times by Marty and Leo, which will come in second place today. But
I think you have to stop saying that.
well, it's just my prediction. We have to make a prediction before we leave the confessional today. Anyways.
I think you could repair everything with love.
We're done. We're over it, Dan. Get out of here. We're done.
Such good content.
Oh my god, the camera's here.
Marty built the other.
Yeah, Marty built the entire Death Star. Marty's just helping us cut down our Death Star from 8 feet to 6 feet.
I love that you're angry with me when if I didn't say anything, you would have trotted out there with a 9-foot Death
Dan,
Star.
I'm not angry with
Nobody's
you.
angry.
Illegal.
I'm angry with the
Ineligible.
situation.
It doesn't matter if our rod was over 6 feet.
Doesn't matter?
No.
Color was a little bit of a stressful time, and I think our ball is
been a lot of
beautiful,
trauma
and
involved.
our rod, yeah, it might be 10 feet, but like we could just cut it down. It's not like we built a giant structure that can't be fixed.
Right. Hold that in for me.
We would not have been fine without Marty. Marty is like
Wait,
the savior.
Beep Boop has something to say. Beep boop boop, beep 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 boop boop boop.
So let's just recap the Reds' day. So first, their Death Star was ineligibly long. After all I said was you need to draw a circle on a piece of paper and probably win the Death Star. And then they desecrated my Mr. Potato Head hand That's
We
not
didn't,
watchable.
the
You
Rangers
think we're gonna
did.
watch
The
that? It's gonna
Rangers-
come out
The Rangers did it, not us.
by their own autonomy.
Yes,
You're the
because
Rangers
our,
representative.
No, because our kids do all the work.
But
It was their idea.
them destroying property